Okay, so I reckon we carry on with this short, sharp, sweet like we did yesterday. Now, trinomials, simple trinomials, these are, again, things that you did last year. I'm not mistaken, eh? You did this last year. Okay, so here we're going, okay, we see a trinomial. What's the first thing you do when you factorize, by the way? Well, you look for a common factor, and nothing too interesting here. One goes into all three of these terms, but that's not too interesting. So, trinomial, right? Three terms, like a tricycle. So, we've got bracket, 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 bracket. That's how we're going to factorize. And to get this first term, for these simple trinomials, x times x is going to give us x squared. And then we're like, cool, well, factors of 12. So we could have things like 12 and 1. 12 times 1 gives us 12. But we want to combine this in such a way that we get 7x in the middle. So the way that I think is useful to do this is, it kind of looks like everything's positive. 3 and 4 looks like they add up to give 7. And we're like, plus 3 plus 4. But just so that we have a good strategy that's going to help us with the more complex ones coming our way, always recheck it in terms of this. This x times 4 will give us 4x, and this 3 times x will give us positive 3x, and 4x plus 3x gives us 7x. Just keep thinking of it in that way rather than, 3 plus 4 gives us 7, because of the more complex ones coming. So then we go on our merrily way, and we're like bracket, 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 x, x. Now, as we getting back into these, what's your confidence level on factorizing trinomials? Right, great high number, whatever you said or whatever you didn't say there. So x, x, and we're like, we need to multiply together to get 6. We need to combine this in some ways to get 7. Well, 6, 7 feels like 6 and 1 is going to get us close to 7. But let's check that, as I said, by using our strategy from before. So we're going to go 6 and 1. We've got a positive here, so it needs to be positive 6 times positive 1, or negative 6 times negative 1. Well, kind of makes sense, I think, negative, negative. And let's just do our little check. X times 1 minus x minus 6 times x minus 6x. Cool, that gave us our minus 7x. And so we go, and this one we're like, cool, bracket, 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 x, x. Easy enough to do. Great stuff. So you've done that one. Equals, then you got another one, you got bracket, 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 x, x. And we're like, okay, well, this one's also easy enough, right? Well, let's just check that we're kind of going okay here. Here looks like 3 and 4. And we've got, say, positive 3x. Yeah, I'm doing this in my head each time. Positive 3x. Like, I don't know if that pen comes through, but it probably does, right? But where are we here? I'm like, 3 times x. 3 times x gives us positive 3x, and x times 4 gives us the 4x. So that's what I'm kind of doing there every time to go, well, 3x minus 4x gives us our minus x. 3 times 4 minus 12. Cool. And what do we have for this one? Probably 3 and 2, right? 3 to minus 3x plus 2x. Cool, looking good. And then our last example here, xx. And we're going, times 8. Well, 4 and 2 looks great. Plus 4 minus 2. 4x minus 2x gives you 2x. Cool, so that looks great. Now, perfect square trinomials. I actually just want to keep going, not separate this into 2 Edpuzzles and just do one. Some trinomials look like they're going to factorize really nicely, these perfect square ones. Let's say we've got something like, well, I actually wanted to start with one of these rather, with the second example. So here we factorize and we go, okay, trinomial, bracket, 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 x, x, 16. Well, the factors look like they're going to be 4 and 4, because 4 times 4 gives you 16. And negative 4x minus 4x gives you the negative 8. So what we're looking to recognize here quite soon is, well, this would actually be nice to write as x minus 4 squared. and to go straight from this to recognizing that it's this perfect square trinomial. And I mean, the hint's up here already. That, let's look at this one. We've got a 1 here and a 2 here. So it looks like it relates something to do with that and that. So let's check if that works. Well, x squared, clearly x times x is going to give us x squared. Clearly 1 times 1 is going to give you 1. Minus 1, I'll leave that to you. Just multiply that out and check that it gives you x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, so that's all well and dandy if, you've got this term here and this term. But actually, it relates to this a term as well. So let's look at this one here. I'm going to write it first of all in the 2 brackets before we know it's going to work out to be a perfect square trinomial. I'm going to say 4x squared. Right, what's going to be the first term in each of these brackets? Well, 2x definitely. 9y squared. What's going to be the first term in each of these brackets? Well, we've got 3y. Why is this not a difference of 2 squares? Well, it's not a difference of 2 squares because we don't have a difference for 1 over here. And for 2, it's a trinomial, not a binomial. So, how do we know that this is actually just going to be minus minus, in other words, 2x minus 3y squared? Well, we know it from this. Look at this 4. And look at this 9 over here. So we take the square root of each of these. So we can see we've got 2. Whoopsie. We've got 3 over here and we've got 2 over here. If we multiply these together, like the reason I'm saying that is because that times that is like multiplying them together. If you multiply them together and you have 2 lots of them, are you going to get this middle term? So if we take 2x and we multiply it by 3y and then multiply it by 2, are we going to get minus 12x? And the answer is a very definite yes, and we can check that through by doing our last one here. So we're at 9x squared minus 30x plus 25. So let's check. This first bit is 3x, right? Square root of 9x squared is 3x. And our last term is 5. If we multiply them together, what do we get? 15x. And if we multiply that by 2, do we get 30x? Yeah, we do. So we're like, oh, well, that's great. In other words, this is the same as 3x minus 5. And what we're thinking in the back of our head as our parting shot today is that's our final answer. You're going to leave it like that. But what we're thinking is, oh, well, if you were to multiply this out, you would go 3x minus 5. 3x minus 5. Okay, well, the first term and the last term are easy enough. But those middle terms, you're going to go 3x times minus 5. Now link that to what we did here. You're going to go 3x times minus 5. Oh, so you're just doing that again. You're adding those together. In other words, you're multiplying it by 2. And you're getting your middle term, which is minus 30x. Okay, so I think that's enough to keep us going. And what I was circling here was a reminder that that's what we're doing. The 3x times the 5 was the 3x times the 5. Enjoy exercise 10. Of course, you did exercise 9 today as well. Well, you're about to do it. So enjoy. Have fun. Goodbye.